Hi, welcome back to Honest Self-Help Book Reviews. We're talking about High Status Carefreeness from the book High Status by Jason Capital. You can find lots of great self-help book reviews at honestselfhelpbookreviews.com. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe. Let's get into it. So in his book, he talks about having high status carefreeness, and this comes from the circle of concern versus the circle of influence. So the circle of influence is everything you can control. So like things that you can take action on in your life. You can control what you do, but you can't always control the outcome or the consequence of what you do. The circle of concern is things that we might be concerned about in the world today. Maybe about political parties, about what's going on, environmental pollution, what's going on at a geopolitical level, or things that we cannot control. So a proactive focus, which he talks about, is to just focus on what you can control in your circle of influence. A reactive negative focus is to focus a lot on your circle of concern and how that pertains to you. They can make you quite negative. So if you focus too much on how politics are and things like that, that can make you quite a negative person, whereas you focus on what you can control in the circle of influence, that can definitely influence your impact. So he talks about writing down everything you currently have on your mind, things that you're dwelling on, thoughts that are going through your head, write it down. Okay, so for everything you write down, so you may want to stop this video and just for the next couple of minutes just write down everything on your mind. Next thing is to put an asterisk, which is a little star, next to everything that you can control on that list. Everything that is what you can directly control. So if you want to put North Korea on that list, well, you can't control what's happening with North Korea and America. You can just, you can't. So what can you control? You can control, the things that you do with your body, the things that are directly within your decision-making power. You can't control which political party is going to be elected in your, your county, but you can contribute to it. But you got to just let go of that outcome. So you put an asterisk next to everything that you can control. He says that carefree people focus on what they can control. So if you're playing a basketball game, you focus on your skill, your contribution to the team, your attitude, your play-by-play actions. You can control that. So you focus on that, and that gives you a certain carefreeness. And then what happens is you can let go of the outcome. And yes, if you do everything right, if you do the basics right, then the outcome should take care of itself. So carefree people focus on their actions, not their outcome. They focus on how they're going to play the game, playing the game to their best ability, not the outcome. And so whether they win or lose, yes, if they win, they're happy. If they lose, they can play better next time. So they focus on what they can control. Carefree people focus on their actions within their circle of influence. So they focus on what they can control, and by focusing on that and empowering that, they gradually increase their circle of influence so that it expands to contribute to the rest of the world. So people like Brad Pitt, people like Bill Gates, people like Will Smith, people who are Dwayne Johnson, people who have a lot, Sri Chamoy, people who have focused on their circle of influence within themselves, and they start expanding it out and influencing, cross culturally, across nationally, on a universal level. It doesn't not matter whether the outcome or evaluations of others was good or bad, right or wrong, positive or negative. If you continue to rely on other people's assessments, you become dependent. So someone comes up and goes, yeah, great game, you played a great game. It's really like bittersweet feedback, because yeah, it's sweet to hear, but in your stomach it's like, oh, you know what, I'm dependent on that good feedback, because if I don't play as well, we don't get the outcome next time, they're going to be angry, they're going to be upset, the fans are not going to be happy. So he says a high status carefree person is immune to the evaluations of others, good or bad, right or wrong, positive or negative. He talks about how many celebrities place too much emphasis on critics and media comments. For me personally, I watched Robin Williams. He's known and loved throughout the world, but he received Patch Adams is one of my favorite movies. I think I saw it 8 times in the cinema. I know, I'm a nerd, but anyway, critics slammed that movie, and he took the advice of the critics, and then he went on this huge national tour, which put him in debt, and basically hired out whole football stadiums and arenas to do his stand-up. And then it was sold out, and yes, it was brilliant, but he got in debt, and then it just sort of was a downward turn from there. So, and then he started taking more negative roles, away from the roles which sort of made people love him. So, Michael Jackson's another one, Whitney Houston's another one. Too much emphasis on critics and media comments. Some celebrities, however, are carefree and care not for feedback from critics or media. So one person like that is Johnny Depp. When asked about what he thought about his certain movie, he would say, I haven't seen it. Why? He goes, and why? He goes, well, I've done my work, or I've done the best I can do, and it's not up to me. it's out of my control. So he would just kick back and relax, knowing that he would never go and watch the movie. Another person who does it is Robert Redford. The Sting was a very famous movie. You may have heard the ragtime piano tune from that. And 20 years later, he watched the movie and he said, yeah, it was a pretty good movie. They don't watch their work. They control what they can control. Feedback from the media can be positive and negative. They love you one minute and they hate you the next. They raise you up and they pull you down. So the real carefree, high status celebrities care not for what the media says. They care not when it's positive and they care not when it's negative, because they know that it's highly flippant and highly volatile and it can go anyway. So carefree people do not need anyone's approval and follow their high status destiny always. So they're always on track. They're always on the path. They're on the warpath towards their high status destiny always. And they do not need anyone's approval. Yeah, you liked it. Yeah, you didn't like it. Who cares? I'm on my path. And as a result, carefree people are pursued by others because they do not seek approval, and they follow their own path because they do not seek approval. It makes people want to chase them and want to follow them. How many people want to follow these celebrities and chase them simply because they don't care? They don't care about it. So that's what we're talking about with a circle of concern, a circle of influence. You can see how it applies to you and how you can just stop wanting to affect things that you have no control over. You can only really focus on what you can do, and when you do things, to actually let go of the outcome and just focus on the result and doing your best. So that's what it is with the High Status Carefreeness from High Status by Jason Capital. You can find the full review at honestselfhelpbookreviews.com. And if you like this video, click like and subscribe. There'll be so many great videos coming for you, so much great value to help you in your life. So check out my website and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. Thank you. Have a fantastic day.